There are songs like stone that's been around for all time. Some songs are like diamonds coming up from the mines. They've given us salt from all the tears that's been cried. There's a song in my heart makes my love for.
Hey.
Hey there.
Adam. Hang on.
Zander from A to
Adam.
Z. Zander,
Adam,
where are you? There
Here
you
comes.
are.
Uh-oh.
How you doing?
Watch out.
Are you on your phone? Where are you, by the way? Where are you located?
Let me fix my hair.
It's light out, so it must be the West Coast, or
I'm in. Let's see if I can do a reverse. Do you want a reverse? So you can
oh
see
yeah,
where I
sure.
am?
Let's see where you are.
There's my cat.
Ooh. Nice.
I'm in sunny California, sitting on my patio,
That is nice.
drinking coffee. There's a little view into my music room there.
There's a view. Okay. Mine's behind me. There's mine.
What?
Can you see
Beautiful.
this?
Nice.
Yeah. How you doing? Nice
I'm good.
to meet you.
Can you hear me okay? Should I go into a better place for audio? You want me to go inside?
No, you sound good. I mean, you know, it's good enough for punk. It's good enough for rock and roll. It's good enough for this show. It's fine. No, the sound is fine. Thank you for asking.
Are you just doing sound or are you doing visual as well?
Well, I'm doing visual, but was that not I don't have to.
No, I mean it's fine. I just want to just premise it. Are you recording now?
Well, I'm recording, but I can edit. You know, it's not like
it's okay. I'm just coming back from shooting a video for a new single that's going to drop on my album called Dead Friend Letter. And the reason for all the sunburn and the long beard and like stuff like that is I was doing a kind of like a vagabond biker video, like on shovelhead, like Harleys out in the desert. And
I was gonna say you were in the desert again, weren't you?
Yeah, and it's kind of like a Cannonball Run kind of buddy thing. The little Easy Rider and Laurel and Hardy mixed in.
Are you Captain America or are you Oliver Hardy?
Well, I'm the funny guy, and my partner was the straight guy. So
okay,
yeah.
So you got that's quite a sunburn.
Yeah, it's quite a sunburn, and I'll give it away because I want people to know like what's going on. But like when I say biker video, I had this incredible vest.
Oh wow!
Design with the embroidery that says Los Angeles on it.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
you're not going to get in trouble with the Angels because that's.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I did some research into it, and it's if you put two patches on, it means that you're independent. If you put a middle patch in there, it means that you're declaring yourself a club, and you could potentially get into trouble.
Right.
I think the Hells Angels might be a fan of some of the bands that I'm in, like the Circle Jerks and stuff. And
right, that's true.
I think they'll see that it says Schloss Angeles rather than Hell's Angels, even though I am using the same colors,
Right.
which could also potentially get me in trouble.
Or is the font style, for lack of another word, is the type the same?
A little bit.
Well, it looks. Oh well. I will email Sonny Barger when we get off, and I'll let him know. He's not alive anyway.
Tell Sonny he could talk to me directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I was looking forward to meeting you, and I really dig the album. It's it's your. Is this actually your first solo album?
Yes.
That's incredible. Long time coming.
Well, it's incredible to me too, and sometimes it takes a good number of years to find the courage, for one thing, and also to start to scratch the surface of what your unique voice is as an artist and a writer.
Yeah, but I wonder. Let's talk. One thing that's that actually really does interest me is to some people, the work you did with the Circle Jerks in the punk era, your punk era. There's it doesn't make sense to those who might listen to your album now, which is a real singer-songwriter album.
Yeah.
I mean, for lack of another, just using terms people can grab onto, but. I mean, if you look at like Dylan, who I know was probably your earliest influence, maybe as a musician, right? You were young and you,
yes,
I did a little reading up. He was like a punk. I mean, if you're talking about like, did you, musically or attitude, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, we're all inventing ourselves. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other night, that Bob Dylan sort of, ran away to Four Corners in New York and reinvented himself as a Dust Bowl sort of troubadour character,
Woody Guthrie type,
Woody Guthrie. And it's like I literally, the first record I ever bought was Nashville Skyline, and I was a visual artist. I've come from 3 generations of painters and stuff like that. Yeah. And I did a sketch of an exact sketch of the cover of Nashville Skyline. And as you know, he's got a top hat on, and he's tipping his top hat, and he's got his guitar. And I drew my face in instead of Bob Dylan's face, it's my face. And I moved to California with my mom and her boyfriend after my parents divorced, and left my brothers and sisters behind to sort of reinvent myself and become a musician, so we're all a fiction anyway. We're all reinventing ourselves, and the Circle Jerks was a reinvention of me too. It's sort of like an accidental reinvention of myself.
Well, how did that happen then, since you brought it up?
Well, as a result of me, doing the film Repo Man, which the Circle Jerks were in too, I had at one point, like in moving to Los Angeles, wanted to be an actor. And, of course, I did Repo Man and went out on some heartbreaking auditions and cattle calls and stuff like that, and found that I was too thin-skinned and sensitive to maybe pursue that. And
a lot of actors are, and they don't choose to stop. They just go crazy.
Yeah, well, we're all gluttons for punishment, us artists, I guess, and people in general. I don't want to like make myself in a special group or anything. People in general, But at any rate, I ended up living in a 10-by-10 office off of Hollywood Boulevard between Ivar and Cosmo. And I came outside and I'm counting pennies for burritos, and a car pulls up, not unlike the scene in Repo Man where Bud, inducts Otto into the Repo Man business. They say, "Hey, Circle Jerks are looking for a bass player." And I'm like, "Why are you talking to me? I'm a guitar player." And they say, "Well, kid, it looks like you could really use a job." And I mean, it sounds like a lie, but I mean, it is a true story. It was one of the guys who was doing still photography for Repo Man, and one of the cast members who played Debbie in Repo Man. And so, you know, I had come from a jazz background. I lived with my jazz teacher, and you know, learned all my inversions and my arpeggios, and you know, was
Yep.
transcribing
Yeah,
Charlie
yeah.
Parker, John Coltrane, and stuff like that. And so,
Thelonious Monk, maybe.
yeah, and so, you know, when I called up Greg Hetson, he said learn 3 songs. I think it was Coup d'etat, Shit It's the Fan, and Wild in the Streets. I was like, I don't know if you can use expletives here.
Yeah,
Can you?
absolutely.
I said, fuck you, dude. No, well, in my mind, I said, fuck you. I'm going to learn all 3 records and come in and blow everybody away. And which is what I did. But everybody made fun of me in the punk world because of my jazz training, and of course, like being perceived as being an actor who's playing music and stuff, which isn't the truth, man. I've been playing music since I was 12 and gobbling up everything I could get my hands on, you know, and not just, you know, punk rock, but every genre of music.
It's amazing. I started guitar. This is about you, but I just, as I'm listening, I have to say to you, because I'm connecting, is that I started guitar at 12, and I was learning folk songs because I learned it. My first chords were taught to me by camp counselors, you know. But then my dad found a guitar teacher who was out in Great Neck, Long Island, who was a jazz guitar teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next 5-6 years, I just learned how to play jazz.
Well, it was helpful in me learning those albums, and it was helpful in me when
You mean the
when
Circle
Red
Jerks
Button,
albums?
huh?
The Circle Jerks?
Yeah, you know, coming in for that audition in 1984,
Oh, yeah.
85 or something. And you know, transposing on the bass, and like when I go into the studio to record, it made me a little bit quicker when the red button gets pushed, and
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
How did you meet Alex Cox then, who is the director, for those who may not know, of Repo
Well,
Man?
Alex, I'm looking for a good lighting angle here. That's pretty
It's
nice.
great. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it, and I hope you're comfortable. I don't want you to be uncomfortable standing there.
No, I'm fine. I'm just kind of walking around.
Okay. Well, we have
Alex,
a good signal, so walk away. Walk on. I mean.
I'm gonna sit back in my chair here.
Yeah, you relax.
Thank you. Alex and I met when I did finish my training, independent training, living with my jazz teacher. I moved up to Los Angeles and went to music school. And I had already learned everything that the music school was teaching. So it was kind of my way of just getting up into the competitive stream. And I had always had aspirations to be a film composer. So I started going down to UCLA Film School and putting up flyers saying, I will score your student film for free.
That's so enterprising.
Yeah. And a couple people let me do it. And subsequently, I met a graduate student, a tall, lanky English graduate student named Alex Cox.
Wow.
Alex came to a couple of the gigs. I was playing in a band called the Juicy Bananas down in the Compton and Inglewood area. It's like a funk band. I was the only like white dude in the band. And he dug the band, and he wanted to incorporate it into this film that he was writing. He was going to graduate from UCLA and go on to make a feature called Repo Man. And so I said, yeah, sure, sign me up, dude. I'll do whatever. Subsequently, we became friends, and as he was writing the script, and don't quote me on this might be unfounded information, but I was working these dead-end jobs and like stealing groceries and stuff like that. And I bring them back to Alex and tell him all these stories about, you know, these terrible jobs that I was working. And I was a pretty dirty, pimple-faced, you know, skinny kid. I think maybe loosely Kevin the Nerd and Repo Man was maybe written for me, or written with my influence in there.
Sure.
Again, don't quote me. If Alex hears this and he gets pissed off, I'll talk to Alex and it'll
Well,
all.
he can come on and give his version. I'd prefer that. I mean, you know, or he could Zoom bomb. Or if he comes on, you can Zoom bomb, and then we can have you guys figure it out together.
He
Go
doesn't
ahead.
care. Alex just cares that I, promote myself and am successful in my, current endeavors and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So I guess they told me that I could be Kevin. I started working as a production assistant, and they said, "Okay, we want to cast you for the role of Kevin the Nerd." And I said, "Okay, I'm in." Now, the very same day, they negotiated a contract with Chris Penn's agent, who is Sean Penn's little brother.
Right. Who died.
And so I,
time
as a
ago.
production assistant, had to go and get letters signed from his doctor because he was a minor, and pick out wardrobe for Chris. And I came back to the set and was like, "You're making a big mistake. I am Kevin the Nerd. You'll see." And I went home, and that night I got out my clippers, and I thought, well, the nerdiest thing that somebody could do who's a wannabe punk is to shave the sides of his head and like leave like a mohawk, but not shave them all the way down. I called it a poser hawk. But now it's a very popular haircut called the faux hawk.
Faux hawk, of course. You invented that.
I lay claim to inventing the faux hawk. But I came back to the set, and I basically just, acted like Kevin the Nerd the whole time. And so one day I was delivering the dailies. Chris Penn shot his first scene as Kevin, and I was supposed to deliver the dailies for Michael Nesmith of the Monkees, who was executive producer, and Alex to watch. And I was lurking around the corner as I heard Michael say, "Oh my God, Alex, this is terrible. This guy is horrible. Rest in peace, Chris. Maybe you were, not the great actor that you became." But at any rate, he said, "What are we going to do?" And he said, Alex said, "Well, originally I cast Zander into the role." And Michael said, "Well, why don't we give him a shot?" But nobody told me for 2 weeks. So I continued to pick cigarette butts off the lot and show up with my faux hawk and act like I was Kevin the Nerd. And one day, the day after my 21st birthday, I showed up, and there was the wagon where they have the dressing rooms. There was a star with my name on it.
Sweet. That's a great story. And who could you have ever thought that movie would become like such a such a hit, such a, and it's, for God's sake, it's on the Criterion Collection, so it's really held up.
Well, it's funny
to call it a cult classic, maybe. I think it's even beyond that, maybe.
There were a lot of factors, I think, that went into that I felt were obvious when I read the script, which is, one, it's chock full of like some of the most memorable lines, and it's got hundreds of them, where some movies have some catchphrases and lines, like a handful of them. Repo Man, if you really watch it, has dozens and dozens of them, and the cast of characters in that movie, and were just incredible people. It was like evident to me. Long story short, it was evident to me that there was something special happening there. But upon completion, of course, it got a limited theatrical release, and was quickly removed from the theaters. Really? Now, yeah. I went to Chicago when Siskel and Ebert were there to review it, and they both, I think, gave it a thumbs up. But that may have been helpful. what was really the catalyst of that film getting a re-release in the theaters was the success of the soundtrack album.
Oh, okay.
Like Fear, Circle Jerks, Black Flag, Suicidal Tendencies, and it was literally the first Buzzbin soundtrack film soundtrack to sell the picture. So
that makes sense.
Here we have the invention of the faux hawk. Here we have the invention of the Buzzbin soundtrack album.
Right. Yeah. And I was thinking, the timing, I mean, it was just happened to be during this, maybe it was even on the front end of this surge of independent films, all of a sudden, American independent films that, what became huge for that brief window of time in the 80s, late 80s into the 90s, What year was that? Was that mid 80s?
1984, I
84.
believe.
So yeah, so absolutely, it was on the front end of it. Had it maybe been a year or two later, it may not even had that gap and needed it, because I think it would have been just exactly in the right time. But I guess it was at the forefront of it.
Well, even more so.
Jarmusch, Jarmusch,
yeah,
Al Hartley, Susan Seidelman, all those guys making those films was right around that time and a little later.
And we could say Penelope Spheres.
And Penelope, right, with the, with their documentaries.
Well, which brings me to, and stick with me, this is another unfounded theory, but the climate at the time, these are like the kind of the golden years of punk rock. Was that all these guerrilla and independent filmmakers were part of that movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's very true. And a number of the downtown art scene in New York, anyway, these guys were toggling between, music. They were into bands, but they were also making films, and they were painting, or doing like street art. I mean, like that was the culture downtown.
Yeah.
In New York City, coming out of the punk era, the new wave period, the no wave period, it's called. Yeah. And meanwhile, on the West Coast, you guys were doing something too. And I think that's, and maybe Allison Anders, I'm not sure who.
Penelope Spheres.
Penelope, right. It was an exciting time. You were right there in the middle of it, weren't you?
Yeah, and everybody was documenting this very special thing that was happening with this community of oddballs that were just going out and making things despite the fact that they didn't have support, and they were downright not invited.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one feels the other. It's like, well, the giant studios aren't picking up our films and stuff like that. We're just going to make our films independently. Same sort of attitude as the musicians were having. It's like, well, the Bee Gees are signed, but it's like, how is my little punk rock band going to ever get signed to a major label?
Mm-hmm. What do you make of, well, let's just say, because we, even though at the beginning of this, I will play a portion of the video from the first single, but the name of the album is Song About Songs, which is, by the way, available right now for pre-order here.
Yes, it is.
What day is it coming out officially from Blind Owl Records?
It is officially coming out on March 4th.
Okay. So yeah, I'll play this a little bit before that. I'll put this up a little bit before, and we'll let people know that it's available for pre-order. You can order a copy, and you can watch the first video, which is just really terrific. It's really lovely, and you sound great.
Thank you.
It's very really soulful stuff. Bob would be proud of you.
Oh.
What do you make of the Spotify controversy? You have any thoughts about it? Am I putting you on the spot? Spotify?
No, you're not. I think there's a lot of folly out there, and arguments about. I think people just want to fight. We're all pent up, and we want to fight about things, and like, you know, there's a whole lot going on where it's like, if you don't fall into line, you know, then you're complicit, or you're you know, part of the problem. You know, and it's like, I literally look at the world now as like, as I look at the mosh pit when I'm playing with the circle jerks. It's something that is happening that I don't get involved with. You know what I mean? I'm just up there on stage doing my job.
But okay, and fair enough. I kind of feel like, you know, focus less on like the stuff that you don't appreciate, and trying to get it, you know, to fight it, and just put out positive material and art.
Well, that's what
And,
I'm doing.
you know, let people find the good stuff. They'll, you know, yeah. I mean, there's no point in trying to, you know, just somehow erase the rest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do my part and be creative, and like release content, or music and art into the world. Content, I'm calling it that, because I've been like trying to
You're,
my album and falling into that
I avoided that word in particular.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Okay.
it's like, I'm like falling into the whole vernacular of what I have to do to like emerge as a
Now,
solo, stuff like that.
market it. Yeah.
But it's like, I'm literally just making art and putting it out there, and I don't think that that's destructive. And truthfully, it's like, for me to have a clear channel into the creative source, or whatever you want to call it, the universe. I don't want to get all hippie and wavy gravy about it, but I don't want to get involved with a lot of the folly, and the arguments that are happening and stuff. So I don't voice my political opinions. I have them, of course. I don't voice my opinions about virus, or Black Lives Matter, or LGBTQ, or any of this stuff. Definitely have my opinions, and I think that my voice is the voice of I say, personal freedom is the most important thing, you know, and personal choice is the most important thing to me. Maybe that's a little bit punk rock, but it's like, just go out there and don't cause destruction, make beautiful things while you're here, make beautiful connections, and spread love and sunshine, man. You know, let's keep it light. There's a very weird and absurd world out there, and it always has been. It just is brought into light more because I think that people have had a little bit more time on their hands because of the pandemic. And you know, of course, Donald Trump, you know, like, made things pretty weird for 4 years. And we got nothing better to do than to fight, you know what I mean? And to think about things that are, you know, horrible in the world. Look, it's fucking absurd, you know. I'm not taking it lightly, but it's just like, if you lose
Right.
your sense of humor, you're dead, you know?
It's a good point. So instead of going with this urge to lash out, or to curl up in a, you know, ball under the table, put on a song about songs. Listen
Yeah.
to that, light up a, you know, whatever you want to light up, or pour whatever you want to pour, and chill out, and listen to some soulful music by Zander Schloss,
Yeah.
one of the original punks. And,
Yeah, and think about the songs that have saved your life, you know, and think about the impact that music has had on you. I'm not putting any thoughts in people's heads. It's like, what saved your life, you know?
right. Thank you for finding time, and I'm just glad for the opportunity to have heard the album and to have met you. It was really delightful.
Are you leaving now?
No. No. I mean, are you mean saying goodbye in the sense,
Yeah.
or it was an opportunity, but you know, if you have more to say, I'm happy to chat a little longer.
Well, I do want to talk about like a couple other things related to the album
Oh, please do.
and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
we got a single coming out this
Oh, and I was going to ask you also, sorry, but I was also going to ask you about how you're supporting the album. So, you know, like, are you gonna be playing? Are you gonna tour for God's sake? Or
well,
so?
I think we're going to the royal we are going to be promoting this album as it's being released at a time where I will be on a 50 something date national tour with Circle Jerks,
Right.
which
Oh, that's right. I did have a note about that. That you're
I like.
currently enjoying your 40th anniversary tour.
Yeah,
So you're going to be the opening act.
no, certainly not. This is the
Okay.
polar opposite of what the
I know.
Circle do, which is I think very punk rock. You know, to go, you know, full throttle the opposite direction. Um, but I am yeah. So the album's coming out March 4th. We're releasing a couple of singles and a couple more videos, which you may be interested in.
Sure.
The next single that's coming out is this Friday, and it's a song called "Dead Friend Letter," which I just showed you that vest. We made this video that's about a couple of vagabond bikers, um, and they're buddies. The song has some dark content about it, and I might let you guys wait to hear the content so that I don't give it away. But it's going to be a really incredible video, kind of like I said, like a Cannonball Run thing, kind of buddy, like George Kennedy, which would be my character, and Clint Eastwood. I got this other guy.
I thought it was Burt Reynolds, but
And we ride around on shovelhead ape hanger Harleys.
oh, I
Jesus,
lost you.
what the hell just happened?
I don't know. Your video went off.
End. Wait, decline. Are you still there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there you are.
Well, you know what we'll do? We'll put a portion of the video in right there when I edit it, because we can by the time I post this, your next video, the Dead Friend Letter will be out, so I can use it.
Maybe not, because it's coming out probably February 25.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's not true. What is coming out February 25 is a video that I made for a song called "I Have Loved the Story of My Life." And this is something you may be interested in. Um, it has 5 iterations of me in puppet form, from Kevin the Nerd in Repo Man, Carl the Wiener Man in Straight to Hell, Latino Rockabilly War Zander when I played with Joe Strummer from The Clash, punk rock Zander of Circle Jerks and Weirdos fame, and your modern day bearded, long-haired narrator in puppet form, singing this song with vivid 3D lighting and animated sets that were conceived by Alex Cox himself.
Really?
Yeah, and some motion animation elements that are going to be popping in and out of there. But this is going to be a really special video. It's a song that I've actually released right now that's available streaming, called "I Have Loved the Story of My Life."
Okay.
And then the Dead Friend Letter video that I just described is going to be coming out upon the release of my full record on
gotcha.
On the 4th of March.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Well, I'll just do the current song at the beginning, so people can get a taste of what you're doing, you know, and we'll put that at the beginning.
Well, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot to absorb. There's a lot going on, and I'm super grateful that I get another bloom in my career, and you know, not only with doing all this reunion work with the Circle Jerks, but growing my own solo career. And I thank you for having me on your show and talking to me about it.
My pleasure completely. And I was going to say in a way this project is especially with the song you described in the upcoming animated video is it sounds the puppet, I guess, stop animation, or what they used to do with stop
No,
animation.
stop animation, actual puppets that are
Okay.
out and have like these incredible little miniature replicas of
Can't wait to
guitar.
see it. I love that stuff.
I could send you pictures that you can include if you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, you could send them, sure. If I can figure out how to do it, kind of elegantly, I will. That sounds good. Yeah, we can play them over as we talk.
I have
Um,
side by side pictures of the puppets in the
that is
same
good.
as me in the films and in the various stages of my career.
Okay. Yeah, and I like how it's time. This is kind of pulling almost on some level everything together of your. So it's a kind of looking back, even though it's very much right now you're this next chapter of your career or your professional life, your artistic
Well,
life.
that's kind of what we do when time starts running out. You know what I mean? We
When
look
time
back.
starts becoming a much bigger commodity. Yeah.
Yeah, when we're hurtling towards the grave, it's like we're going to look back at some of these things these highlights of our life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe write some songs that people actually believe the lyrics because they're based on truth and experience.
Are you going to do is there a vinyl version? Are you going to even do that, or?
There's going to be a beautiful gatefold vinyl
Wow.
and CDs, and man, it's really worth checking out. So if you can drive some of your people to place a pre-order, and if not, it's going to be coming out March 4th and available.
Do me a favor too. Stay on after we say goodbye.
Okay.
Because I'll mention something else to you. Okay.
You got it.
So let's wind it down. And I'm going to edit, obviously, because like that section where I was sort of like, it sounded like I was kind of taking it down, and then we picked it back up. So I'll take that portion out too, so it doesn't, sound like you were.
Can you take the parts out where I sounded like an idiot too?
I have software. I have an app for that. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm never in any of these videos as a result, though. Last time, it's called Song About Songs. It's on Blind Owl Records, coming out March 4th. Zander Schloss is the artist. And Circle Jerks are currently on their 40th anniversary tour as well. And thank you very much for coming on.
You are very welcome, Max. Thank you for having me.
Adam. But
I'm sorry.
Unless you're saying Adam to the max, which I appreciate.
I'm so sorry. I guess I read another email today.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Let me try that. Take two. Rolling. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you. Take three. And thank you, Adam, for having me on your show.
My pleasure. We'll do it again.
Oh, you mean do another take?
No. I'm sorry. We'll do this again. We'll and if I'm in your neck of the woods, what neighborhood are you in, by the way?
Huh?
What neighborhood are you in?
I'm in Silver Lake.
Oh, very good. Okay, I've been to Silver Lake. So next time I'm in town, I'll give you a holler too.
Where are you?
My ex-wife is there. She lives there too, and my son kind of goes. I am right now in the Hudson Valley, upstate a little bit from New York.
Wow. How's the weather?
It's a little cold. It's gorgeous up here. I mean, it's like unbelievably beautiful, like in a different way than where you are. That looks beautiful too, by the way. And I kind of wish we could trade places, or not even. I wish I were sitting there vaping and taking in all this, the sunshine with you. But yeah, here it's right now it's actually okay. It was in the 40s or upper 30s today. I mean, my God, but it is beautiful here. And once winter ends in a month or two, we'll be back to you know, just unbelievably beautiful with the mountains and the river. And it's just unbelievable. I live between the Catskills and the Berkshires.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah,
beautiful.
it really is. Right by the Hudson River. You know, it's spectacular part of the country. I mean, it's really just, I'm so
Well,
glad I made the move.
I'm one of these stupid guys that is like everybody else is like run scurrying away from Los Angeles, you know, because there's really nothing here to live for, and it's a pain in the ass. But I still love Los Angeles and have stuck around.
I enjoy it. I was there twice in the summer.
Yeah.
My life, you know, because and my son is looking at UCLA, although he's going to do a gap year. He's finishing high school this spring, or you know, and then because
Wow.
his mother has residence in LA, I have residence in New York, so it's going to be one of the two. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Well, get a chance to come out visit. Come on out, Adam. I'll make you dinner.
Sounds good.
I'm a really
Sounds
good
wonderful,
cook.
actually. I think we'd have a great time.
Yeah, fantastic time. Come on. All right,
So,
you on the spot.
I'm there. I'm booking them a ticket tonight. It is so cold. I really have had it, but you know, I work. Okay, so I'll have faded out by now. I work over at KZE, which is an actual indie radio station. So I was going to tell you to send send over the CD. I'm going to give it to the program director there because I want him to. I don't know if he has it yet. I don't know who's sending out your CD or your advances or what have you. But
Well, Missing Peace Group is working with me. Who I'm sure those are the people that contacted you.
Okay, Sonny
Lemansky.
Right, yeah, really nice guy.
So Sonny is somebody that you might want to share that with.
Okay, I will. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll go through him because I think they'd eat it up, but they'd play your stuff. It's such a great station.
He'd probably pass it on to Dan Cervantes, who's the label owner of
Right.
Blind Owl.
Right, he's the Blind Owl guy. I saw in the. I was doing a little research.
Nice.
Yeah. I just was really enjoying your songs. I was listening in the car. It's fun. It's fun to hear. Really nice.
Oh, thanks, man. Did they send you the whole album?
Yeah, they sent me the digital tracks.
Great.
But I would, I have vinyl, and I have a record player, but I don't have a receiver anymore. So I've been trying to figure out where to get all that equipment again.
Well, you better get one by March 4th.
Yeah, I know. It's true. Gotta figure it out. But I wanted to and I don't know if you're going to come east, but
we are.
So you're going to play the city, of course.
Yeah, and we'll be working our way down from Canada. I think
Toronto,
Quebec, Montreal, Toronto, into Burlington.
Oh, and, okay. Well, Burlington isn't. It's pretty.
Well, we keep coming. We keep coming down, and
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, like somewhere between Albany and the city, but closer, somewhere a little closer. It's an all new experience for me. I lived in the city for decades and I grew up there.
Yeah.
And to be up here, which I'm used to it because I went to school up here and then I travel up here all the time. But to live, it was a little adjustment, but it was so worth it. It's just what's happening.
Oh, my neighbor with his daughter is going down in the yard.
All right.
Don't worry.
All right, well, let's stay in touch.
We're still safe. Yeah, let's do, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. And again, I know we're off tape, but I think I probably looked at my calendar or whatever. They keep sending in me these offers and stuff to do interviews and podcasts and stuff. I'm sorry I fucked up your name, Adam.
Oh, don't sweat it. Seriously, don't worry about it. It was pleasure to get to know you a little bit, and I could, don't worry about that at all, please.
Oh, just call me
Yeah.
up and chit chat. I'm a nice guy. I'm available. We could now be best friends, and maybe
There you
someday.
go. I'm looking for one actually, so that sounds good. I got tired of the old one. He's up in Toronto, and I haven't seen him in years now.
Hey, maybe you could move in. Maybe we could be roommates.
Well, if my son ends up, I lost you again. My son, if he ends up in LA, man, I'm going to be there a lot. I would imagine. So
I'll blow up
maybe it
the
is
air
time.
mattress.
Okay, that's quite an offer. What's your cell phone?
805-883-8230.
I'll text you and we'll just stay in touch. But I'll
Yeah,
let you
and
know when this goes up. I'll let you know when this goes up. I'll let Sonny know, of course, too. But this way, and if there's any news breaking things, you can always reach out.
Yeah, and
But
if you have any other ideas and stuff about anybody who would want to play the track on the radio, or other people that want to talk to me about my story and stuff like that, so that I can.
yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna let this guy Rick, who I work, he's the guy there at KZE, and it's a great station.
Well, it takes a village to raise an album these days.
Right. And no, they would totally, this album, your songs, I mean, it's a natural, it's just a matter of whether or not he wants to do it. I don't know. All I can do is bring it to his attention, but I would
Well, I
happily do
really appreciate all the help that I could get, man. I appreciate you having me on your show. And it's like,
my pleasure.
dude, this is a new experience for me, like, I'm a 60-year-old man embarking on a solo career, and I'm a 40-year veteran of playing in bands and like being
Right.
a professional musician.
Yep.
So, it's like I'm so grateful for the opportunity to, go out there and be able to do this,
Sure. It's exciting. And, just make good music. I mean, then the rest
Yeah.
should happen. The rest should come,
Yeah.
And I want to get Alex finally. I've been meaning to, for off and on. Seriously, I've been doing this podcast for 10 years, and it's been historically mostly film people, and then I just started to, although you have a deep connection to film, so that was, seamless. But like, I don't even care. Like, I wish I hadn't called the Filmwax, because I want to bring on anybody who's making great art and telling stories, however they do it. I don't want it just to be constrained to film only, so I bring on musicians, I bring on whoever I want to talk to.
Well, I might be able to help you with that.
I appreciate it. I really would.
Hey, you one hand washes the other. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Oh, I see. So it's a quid pro quo situation now, is it?
Yeah, someday I'm gonna ask you for a favor, Adam, and
right.
on the day of my daughter's wedding, accept this as a gift from me.
Right. All of a sudden you come to my house on the day of my daughter's wedding.
I just showed that literally to my son this past weekend. He had never seen The Godfather, and we watched it together. I asked him, I said, you got to watch this with me. Just let's please give this a shot. And he really enjoyed it. He texted me this week saying, let's watch part 2 next time I'm up there. So it's great.
Part 2 is so good. Such a great film, man. Chock full of great lines.
Endless.
Yeah.
I know. I
made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah, and Scarface, but Repo Man's right up there with all the lines and stuff.
Hey, hold on. I don't know if I'll find it if it'll take a minute, but I have hold on, Zander, one sec.
God damn it.
Hold on. Somewhere in here. Oh, hold on. There's my Sid and Nancy.
Yeah.
Sid and Nancy, are you in that one?
I played the guitar on a lot of the songs.
That's good enough for me. Where's my Repo Man? Somewhere in here I have it. Slack.
Yeah, man. I was getting ready for you to ask me a whole lot more questions about film and like not talk about my album and like maybe
yeah, I know. I did that. That's been happening because people think I'm just gonna kind of talk about. Here we go.
what do you got? Oh yeah. Beautiful.
So I'm a film guy. So and I don't fool around. And look what else I found.
Wait, I can't see it. What is it?
This is Susan Sodelman's movie she made before Desperately Seeking Susan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was called Smithereens, and it's a real punk movie. And then of course
Sid Nancy.
and on I have it all.
Cool.
All my favorite stuff. It's all fantastic.
Is that the Repo Man Criterion?
Yeah.
Is that the one? Did you watch the extras?
No, I
Or
got
they
to do
have
that.
the-
Hold on. Let me for
Or they have
reading.
the inventor of the neutron bomb? The actual inventor?
New restored 2K digital transfer approved by director Alex Cox with uncompressed monaural soundtrack, audio commentary featuring Cox, executive producer Michael Nesmith, casting director Victoria Thomas, and actors, here we go, but Cy Richardson, Zander Schloss.
Very good.
You and me both have the SCH, where
Yeah.
like half of the people in this country stop once they see 3 consonants in a row, they can't figure out the rest.
That's right.
You know that, right? My last name is spelled SCHARTOFF. And there's a very
Wow.
big lawyer producer guy in New York called John Schloss. Do you know him?
No, I don't know,
He's
John.
big
Schloss.
big in the film world here.
Is he an entertainment lawyer? Maybe I could get him on
You should
retainer.
just say your cousins or something, get a family discount.
Yeah.
New interviews with Iggy, Keith Morris, and actors Dick Rude, Olivia Barish, and Miguel Sandoval. Yada yada yada. Lots of stuff in here. So you're on here, man.
Okay.
Fantastic. I'm gonna put this on. Maybe I'll watch this tonight again.
Holy shit. No, there was another DVD release where he had interviews with the inventor of the neutron bomb. And then Alex asked me, because Fox Harris has passed on, to play Fox Harris, his character, the J. Frank Parnell. Yeah,
Fantastic artwork here.
yeah, it is.
Shame it's just such on a small scale, but
Yeah.
I miss who did all this artwork. I'm just trying to.
I don't know.
It should be right here somewhere. Anyway, totally gonna watch this. It's been years since I've seen it. Fantastic. So yeah, hook me up with Alex when you get a minute. No rush.
Yeah. Well, send me an
there's-
email. Here's how we could do it.
I have a
Send
great
me a-
episode with Allison Anders. I'll send you an email. Go ahead.
I know Allison too.
Yeah, she's probably a neighbor.
Yeah. So send me an email and I can pass it on to Alex. Just make you a request and I'll say, hey, this guy Adam that I interviewed said that he would like to interview you, and I'm just passing this on.
Okay. I'll text you my. Oh well, no, okay. So what's your email then? I guess that makes more sense.
Lowercase all the way, Zander Schloss at gmail.com.
Well, that's easy.
I know.
Okay.
Not if you're retarded. I'm just kidding.
Wow. What did you hear exactly? It was a misdiagnosis. I'm autistic. Took me 45 years to make eye contact. Okay.
Yeah. Don't look me in the eyes.
Yeah, it's they thank Allison Anders right here, and I have some great people on my show, man.
I heard.
I really, really, it's like, and if I really, this period was the sweet spot where the only guy I haven't had on is Jim Jarmusch, like I got just, and Alex Cox. I've got just about everybody else.
Well, here's how the chain works. You send me the email
Got it.
requesting Alex come on, and then Alex can send the email to Jim saying, "Hey, I got a, I went on this guy's show and it was really good." And send the email to, he'll send the email to Jim Jarmusch, and on you go.
And Jim will send it to Susan Seidelman, who I did email with, and she just kind of was putting, I think she's up in this area, actually. I should contact her again. I think she's upstate. But some of these people, they don't want to do it because they feel like, and I don't blame them. I understand it. Like they don't want to talk about the past too much because then they don't feel relevant, or they feel like they won't be perceived as relevant. They're just kind of like an oldies nostalgia act or something, and it's, and I get it. Like they want to have something new to talk about.
Well, I kind of, I get it, on the look, because I'm going out there trying to promote this new art that I'm making. And honestly, it's like all the interviews that I've done, people want to talk about my history more than they want to talk about the actual thing that I'm doing now. And so it's like the lesson here is that our stories are important. And it's, even though these things happened in the past, and it's not really what I want to talk about, people are more interested in the process of getting from there to here, and people's stories that they've, admire some of the things that they've done. And so I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, is telling my story,
Sure. I mean, personally, I just didn't have enough information about the details to connect the thread together, about you, because, I just didn't know enough. So, and there's not like huge amount out there about you.
Here's what we could do. You could go back and do more research, and then call me up again and we'll do part 2.
I would love to do a part 2 regardless. And I think it would be fun to do it like totally. Let's do it in a few months. And then we can focus on how it's going with the album, but also we could talk about movies.
Yeah, and both of those videos will be out at that point, and those are like little mini movies, dude. You're gonna be like really happy when you see these.
Well, that one you were describing sounds fantastic. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and this is like a whole new outlet for me. I've made about 5 videos in the last couple of years, and like written the storyboards and come up with concepts and produce these videos. And I'm really having a great time doing that. It's a new cool outlet for me to create,
Hey, maybe before you're 70, you'll direct your first movie.
I hope so. That's, I think that's completely doable. In fact, based on the last video that I just did with this character, this friend I know that I cast as my little buddy, Sleazy Jesus. The guy who shot it wants to make a movie with the 2 of us, so we'll see if that happens.
And then you could be on the Sons of Anarchy, the next iteration of that too, because you have the wardrobe.
Well, yeah,
and the beard.
So many people have like come up to me and go, "Man, I really love your work on Sons of Anarchy." I'm like, "Yeah, I know Mark Boone Jr. We've actually acknowledge that we both have a similar thing going on, and taking pictures together."
Oh yeah, I met him. He was at the Woodstock Film Festival a few years ago, which is up here, and he was out in the film there, that was playing that year, and it was the closing night kind of shindig thing. And I had been wanting him on, like, there's a few people, he used to be artistic partners with Steve Buscemi,
Yeah.
They had kind of an improv team.
Well, the way I met,
I really love Boone. Boone is in so many of these crazy, I call it's not really crazy films, but they're such, low budge, like outrageous films back in the early 80s and stuff. Boone.
Well, the way that I met Mark Boone was I did the music for a film that may or may not have seen the light of day called The Beatniks.
Uh-huh.
And it was he and Norman Reedus, who's now on the popular Walking Dead show.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Wow. I've heard it, but I'm not familiar with Beatniks. I'm sure it would have been on my radar.
The Beatniks.
Yeah.
It's got to be out there somewhere, but I
Really?
did the music for it. I did a fabulous
Okay.
kind of jazzy score for this film that he was in.
All right. Something to look into.
I mean, there's so much shit that I've done that hasn't actually seen the light of day,
Sure. Absolutely.
It would take a lot of detective work to really actually uncover all the various shit that I've done, because I jumped around from genre to genre, from film to music and soundtracks and stuff like that.
Fantastic, though.
But now we have the World Wide Web, so you just consult the Oracle and you'll get all the information.
There you go. All right. Well, part 2 coming up.
Great.
I'll hold you to it. I'll reach out to you. I'll text you with my or I'll email you rather, and we'll get that going. And then we can also I'll definitely, when the video comes out, I'll shoot you a note about that.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to it too. And now I know that you live in upstate, so I'll be like hunting you like an animal if you don't keep your promise.
I'm in this small town called Claremont, which is near Bard College.
Oh, Bard.
I'm just minutes from Bard College. Yeah.
Well, okay. That brings me a little bit closer. I'll be dressed like Elmer Fudd, and I'll be
hunting Jewish wabbits.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right. Thank you so much, Adam.
My pleasure.
All right, buddy.
All right. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I am made of truth and I am lies. I am made of reason, I am rhymes. I am of my loved ones who have died. I am made of tears I've yet to cry. I am made of shadow, I am shade. I am of my dreams along the way, and I'm of my darkness out of sight. Even though I've had to strive, I would never change my life. I have learned from what it teaches, even when I fall to pieces. I have had my ups and downs, but I'm still above the ground. Even when it makes me cry, I have loved the story of my life. I made the cage. I am what is written on the page, but I'm made of more than in these lines. I am loving loves I've yet to find. I am made of you and you of me. I am made of who I wanna be. And I've got a heart that reads the signs. Even though I've had to strive, I would never change my life. I have learned from what it teaches, even when I fall to pieces. I have had my ups and downs, but I'm still above the ground. Even when it makes me cry, I have loved my story. Even though I've had to strive, I would never change my life. I have learned from what it teaches, even when I fall to pieces. I have had my ups and downs, but I'm still above the ground. Even when it makes me cry, I have loved the story of my life. I have loved the story of my